It's like the grand moments in our lives. The day you become a mother, the day that something happens that will color your life from then on and will orient you and will let you know what really matters. I had already figured out that if I had a problem in my life, it was an uncontrolled mental situation when I couldn't always overcome the noise in my brain of impertinent thoughts that shouldn't have been there. So that much I had figured out. But of course I didn't know how to do anything about it, because I would try to stop it and it would just start up. And so just as I had come to that conclusion that really there must be some way to do this, that's when this happened. One day in Paris, a friend says, oh, there's a group meditation that's open to the public. I walk into a room and my thoughts stopped. And suddenly I felt like I was home. It felt like such a warm, beautiful place. And it was only because Chariji was sitting there. And then total confusion ensued in my mind because I couldn't understand, I still don't understand, how a person can change your world without speaking to you, without looking at you, without knowing who you are. This was totally out of my definition of what can happen to people in life. And so it was confusing, exciting. It took me a few years to realize that there wasn't any point in trying to understand, that some things can't be understood, and that the mental tool is totally inadapted to understanding, just the way you can't understand love. It's not meant to be understood. It's meant to be lived. First painting that I did, there's an interesting story behind that one, because now I am in Sahaj Marg. Now I have decided this is my path. So I thought, well, I would like to come out of my anonymous position. Why don't I do a painting for Chariji that I think he would really like, and that way he would know who I am. So I was looking kind of for a reward, and which isn't the purest way to go about doing things. But anyway, that was the situation. So I started working on this painting. And it was a cold winter in Paris, and I was alone in my studio. It was so cold that I moved the easel into my bedroom, and all I did for 6 weeks was eat soup, paint, and look at Babuji's face with a magnifying glass.
Wow.
And after about 5 weeks, I was awakened in the middle of the night with a vision, a complete vision of Babuji. He actually, I felt like I had almost an act of witchcraft. I had invoked the gods, and the god came. It's only happened once in my life. He actually came to me. And I saw this door that was partially open, and I peeped through the door, and Babuji was sitting there. And I thought, I can't go in there. And he told me to come in. So I went in, and then there were 3 scenes. I was serving him some tea. Then we were sitting on the ground laughing like 2 little kids. And the 3rd scene was a tall man was there with a blanket, and he wrapped me up with Babuji with the blanket. This was more real than you and me sitting here now.
Wow.
It was such a shock that I cried for hours afterwards. I couldn't assimilate that you can really, truly have the visitation of someone who has left this earth and who is a master. It happened to me. Well, that'll anchor you in a method, right?
Also someone you'd never met.
I never met him. So somehow that intense concentration where I did nothing for 6 weeks but try and understand how his face was made, what expression, how I could, that proved so many things to me. Now, of course, you get the proof, and then later on it takes years for you to actually act on that. But to me, first of all, I knew no reward that would come after that would ever equal what had happened. Chari was, of course, charming and delighted with the painting. But I had my reward. And it's amazing. I was alone. I wasn't in a meditation center. This is how powerful we are. If we had enough faith, it would happen to all of us. It would be part of our daily lives. And when you read Vivekananda and what it was like, what they say about Ramakrishna, they were so intent on knowing God, knowing the Master, nothing else would do, and it happened. And we all have that power. And to me, that was proof, living proof, that we all have this. So it was, to me, an education in faith. Faith should be there because it can be there. It's not an illusion. You're not making it up. It's true. You can have the experience of the divine yourself alone without being in any particular situation if the intensity of the experience that leads up to it takes you there.
Wow. But how does life change after an experience like that? Because, suddenly your idea of reality is being challenged. It's like...
It takes a long time to digest. It takes a long time to, even with that, you have trouble believing it really happened. But like today, I can tell you exactly every image of that vision. And later I understood what it meant. It wasn't just to prove to me, that was of course the main thing, was you can have faith. The divinity exists. It is available to you and to anyone who develops enough intense desire to have it. It will come to them because that's the way the world works. But the vision of him, me serving him, okay, so you're helping the Master. It's something you need to do to contribute to those things that are important in this life. Second thing, you're sitting down and laughing. You're enjoying the Master's presence. Just the pure joy of being around. And the third thing, unity. Being joined with the divinity. That was amazing. How concise it was done, how it was made for an individual person. It's like I was saying, you have these rendezvous with destiny. It's made for you. Whatever path you take to get here, to get there, to get to the goal, those tools will be given to you. And they will be given to you according to who you are. So nobody's going to have the same experience. Each one will have his or her experience. But if the intensity is there, if the work is there, if the desire is there, it cannot not happen. It must happen.
Wow, that would be such an intense experience that, it would almost be a danger that normal life wouldn't be that great anymore because it would never live up to the intensity of that experience.
Well, it's like the grand moments in our lives. The day you become a mother, the day that something happens that will color your life from then on and will orient you and will let you know what really matters. So then you say, okay, I'm going to live out this life. I know that when I leave here, it'll be a different story. I'll do my best while I'm here. But it's okay. It's okay that I can't live in bliss every day, every minute. Maybe we're here to work. We're here to help each other. We're here to have goals and pursue them, help others pursue their goals. That's what this is about here. It's for everybody, whether they meditate or not. It's pretty clear that that's what's going on. So I think when we leave here, we'll say, well, that happened in the blink of an eye. You know, I really think that. I think it'll be like waking up from a dream and saying, well, that was interesting. Now let's move on.
Well,